Imagine a time when having a high forehead was considered a sign of beauty, leading women to pluck their hairlines. Beauty standards have changed a lot over the years, but some trends from history are so bizarre they'll make your jaw drop. From dangerous concoctions to peculiar practices, these trends reveal the lengths to which people have gone in the name of beauty. Stay tuned as we explore the 15 weirdest beauty trends from history. 1. Lead makeup, the killer beauty. Let's kick things off with lead-based makeup. In the 16th and 17th centuries, having pale, white skin was a status symbol. Queen Elizabeth I was famously a fan of this look, coating her face with a substance called a Venetian ceruse, a mix of vinegar and white lead. The whiteness signified nobility and meant you weren't someone who labored outdoors under the sun. But the lead didn't just make your skin white, it also caused disfigurement, hair loss, and a lovely condition called lead poisoning. Fun fact, some women kept applying it to cover the scars it caused, creating a vicious cycle. Beauty at the cost of health? A classic theme. 2. Belladonna drops, deadly eye candy. Next up, let's talk about belladonna. This plant's name means beautiful lady in Italian, and women in Renaissance Italy would drop its extract into their eyes. The result? Enchantingly wide, dilated pupils that were thought to look more attractive and youthful. What they didn't know, or chose to ignore, was that belladonna is highly toxic. Regular use caused dizziness, blurred vision, and eventually, permanent blindness. Who needs clear eyesight when you have bedroom eyes, right? 3. Blackened teeth, the luxe look. Move over, pearly whites. In Japan during the Heian period, blackened teeth were all the rage. The practice, known as iohaguro, involved painting teeth with a mixture of iron filings, vinegar, and tannins. It was initially a way to protect teeth from decay but soon became a beauty trend among aristocrats. Black teeth symbolized maturity, loyalty, and wealth. Later, samurai wives and geishas adopted the look, making it a cultural statement. It's the total opposite of our obsession with teeth whitening today. 4. Mouse fur eyebrows. Thick eyebrows have always been trendy, but in 18th century England, if your natural brows weren't up to par, you had a creative solution, mouse fur. Women would catch mice, skin them, and shape the fur into brow-sized pieces, which they glued onto their faces. These makeshift brows were fragile and could easily fall off in humid weather or during a dramatic crying session. Not ideal, but desperate times call for desperate measures. 5. Arsenic complexion pills, glow from within, literally. In the Victorian era, pale, flawless skin was everything. Women turned to arsenic pills, marketed as a way to cleanse the blood and enhance the skin's radiance. Of course, no one mentioned that arsenic is a poison that causes anemia, nerve damage, and, well, death. Despite the risks, arsenic pills sold like hotcakes, proving that people have always been willing to gamble their health for beauty. 6. Corsets, the OG waist trainers. Corsets aren't just a fashion statement, they were a symbol of femininity and class. Women wore them to achieve impossibly tiny waists, often down to 18 inches. The tighter the corset, the more socially acceptable you were. But the consequences were severe, crushed organs, displaced stomachs, and fainting spells were common. Some women even died from internal injuries caused by overly tight corsets. Talk about suffering for style. 7. Foot binding, painful elegance. Small feet were the ultimate status symbol in ancient China, and foot binding was the extreme method to achieve it. Starting at age 5 or 6, young girls' feet were tightly wrapped to break and fold the arch, forcing the foot into a crescent shape. This practice wasn't just painful, it was crippling. Women often lived with chronic pain, infections, and difficulty walking. But in their society, bound feet, or lotus feet, were seen as the epitome of beauty and femininity. 8. Mercury for smooth skin. Before skincare serums and moisturizers, there was mercury. During the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, mercury-based ointments were applied to reduce wrinkles and blemishes. However, prolonged use caused tremors, memory loss, and even insanity. Despite these horrifying side effects, mercury remained popular for centuries. It's a miracle anyone survived to pass down these stories. 9. Long nails to prove you're rich. In ancient China, long nails were a way to show off wealth and privilege. Aristocrats grew their nails several inches long, proving they didn't have to do any manual labor. To protect these precious nails, they used elaborate nail guards made of gold, silver, or jade. It's the historical equivalent of saying, "I'm too rich to do dishes." 10. Radium for radiance. In the early 20th century, radium was marketed as the ultimate beauty ingredient. Companies sold radium-laced face creams, powders, and even toothpaste, promising a radiant glow. Of course, exposure to radioactive materials caused severe health issues, from skin burns to cancer. By the time the dangers became known, it was too late for many. 11. Lard for perfect hair. Victorian women loved voluminous, elaborate hairstyles. To keep their hair perfectly styled, they used lard as a natural hair gel. The downside? The grease attracted rats, which is why women wore wire cages over their heads while they slept. It's safe to say the smell wasn't great either. But hey, beauty is sacrifice, right? 12. Decorative veins, fake it till you make it. In the 17th century, pale skin wasn't enough. Women in Europe went a step further by painting blue veins on their necks and arms to mimic translucency. This trend was meant to emphasize their noble blood. It's like contouring, but for veins, proof that makeup trends have always been extra. 13. Lip stretching for status. Finally, let's travel to Africa, where lip plates have been a traditional beauty practice for centuries. Among the Mercy people in Ethiopia, women stretch their lower lips to fit large clay or wooden plates. The size of the plate is often linked to a woman's social status or dowry. It's a fascinating and deeply cultural practice that reminds us how diverse beauty standards can be. 14. Blonde hair dye made from urine. Here's one that's both shocking and gross. During the Renaissance, blonde hair was considered the pinnacle of beauty, inspired by the golden locks of the goddess Venus. To achieve this look, women used a homemade concoction of human urine and saffron as hair dye. The process involved soaking hair in the mixture and then sitting in the sun to let it bleach naturally. While the ammonia in urine does have a bleaching effect, the smell was, let's just say, a lot to handle. But hey, beauty trends can be messy, literally. 15. Cone-shaped heads, elite beauty standards. Let's take a trip way back to ancient times. In several cultures, including the Mayans, Huns, and certain African tribes, elongated, cone-shaped heads were seen as a symbol of beauty, intelligence, and high status. This was achieved through a practice known as cranial binding. Parents would bind their infants' heads tightly with cloth or wooden boards, reshaping their skulls as they grew. This process began in infancy because the skull bones were still soft and malleable. It didn't just reflect beauty standards, but was also used to signify social rank or spiritual importance. Imagine enduring a head wrap for years just to fit in, literally. Beauty truly is in the eye of the beholder, and these trends prove that people have gone to extreme lengths to look good. So, which one shocked you the most? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more fascinating videos. Until next time, stay curious and stay beautiful your own way.